Hey guys, this is Evan from EzOrigami, and today I'll be teaching you how to fold Nexus, an Origami Kusudama designed by Joseph Hwang. This model requires 30 square sheets of paper. Each unit is folded from one square, and in order for this model to hold its shape, you'll need to use small, thick paper to fold the units. If this is your first time folding this model, I recommend using 3-inch squares of either printer paper or tant to fold the units. Using 3-inch squares will result in a Kusudama about 6 inches wide. Diagrams for this model can be found in Joseph's new book called The Art of Modular Origami, which is now available on Amazon. It includes 30 of his original designs, each folded from 30 squares. I'll post a link in the video description below. And I'm going to be using slightly larger paper with color on one side and white on the other just to make it a bit easier to follow along. And once you've prepared your paper, then we want to start with our first square with the white side up. And then we're going to fold in half diagonally. So take this bottom right corner and fold it up to the top left corner. Align the corners and the edges, then make your crease, and then unfold. And now we're going to do the same thing in the opposite direction. So this time we want to take the bottom left corner and align it with the top right corner. Align the corners and the edges, then make your crease, and then unfold. And once you've made those two diagonal creases, then we're going to fold the paper in half horizontally. So we want to take this bottom edge and fold it up to the top edge. Align the corners and the edges, then make your crease. And now we're going to fold in half vertically. So take these right edges and align them with the left edges. So we're just going to fold the entire model in half. And once all 4 layers are aligned on the left side, then you can make your crease. And from here we want to lift up the 2 layers of paper that we just folded over so that they're now held straight up and down. And then from here we want to squash fold along existing creases. So if you look at this flap from the top, you'll notice that there's 2 white layers inside, and we want to slightly separate the layers like this. Then if you push up on this mountain fold from the bottom, you'll see that the layers will collapse along existing creases. Just like this. All of the creases should already be in the correct orientation, so you just want to flatten everything out. Then from here we're going to turn the paper over, and we want to do the same thing on the other side. So this time we want to lift up the top set of layers on the right side of the model, and we want to hold it so that it's straight up and down. And if you look at the model from the top, you'll see that there's 2 white layers inside, and you want to slightly separate them like this. Then again we want to push up on this mountain fold from the bottom, so that all of the layers collapse into place. Just like this. Again, the creases should already be in the correct orientation, so you just want to flatten everything out. And once you've done that on both sides, then you've created a water bomb base. And now we're going to fold up this bottom point and align it with this top edge here. So we're just going to lift up the bottom point like this. And once it's aligned with that top edge, then you also want to make sure that the vertical creases align on both layers as well. Once everything is aligned, then you can make your crease. And I recommend using a folding tool because you're folding through a lot of layers. And then you can unfold. And now we want to align the crease that we just made with this top edge here. So we're going to do that by lifting up the bottom of the model, and we want to pull it up like this. You can see the crease that we just created on this top layer here. So we just want to pull it up until it's completely aligned with that top edge. And once the crease and the edge are aligned, then you can make your crease. Crease sharply because you're folding through a lot of layers. And then you can unfold. And now we're going to fold up this bottom corner and align it with this bottom horizontal crease. So we're just going to lift up the bottom corner. And once it's aligned with that bottom horizontal crease, then you also want to make sure that the vertical creases align on all layers as well. Once everything is aligned, then you can make your crease. And crease sharply because you're folding through a lot of layers. And then you can unfold. And now we're going to unfold the model completely. So you just want to unfold all of the layers until you're left with the original square. And now I've marked only the important creases that we'll need for the next step. So as you can see, we have these concentric squares which get smaller in towards the center of the model. And we want to start by focusing on the largest square of creases that I've outlined here. And we want to make sure that all of the edges of that square are mountain folds. So we're going to start with this top edge here, and we just want to pinch it from the top to make sure that crease is a mountain fold. Just like this. Then we're going to slightly rotate the paper, and we want to do the same thing on the next edge. So we're just going to work our way around the square, just like this, until all 4 sides are mountain folds. And as you can see, I've also marked these small diagonal creases in each corner so you just want to pinch those from the top as well to make sure that they're mountain folds. This will help collapse the rest of the model. And now you can see that I've marked the creases on this next smallest square, as well as these small diagonal creases that extend from its corners. And we want all of those creases to be valley folds. So we're going to start by reinforcing the diagonal creases on all 4 corners. And we can do that by simply squeezing the sides of the outer square together like this. So you want to do that on all 4 sides by bringing the layers together. And while you're doing this, you also want to try to reinforce the valley folds on that inner square as well. So just make sure that inner square is made of valley folds. Again, you can see that I've marked the next smallest square, as well as the diagonal creases that extend from its corners. And this time we want all of those creases to be mountain folds. So I find it easiest to do that by lifting up the model. And you want to start by pinching those diagonal creases from the top. So you just want to pinch them like this on all 4 corners. And at the same time, you want to reinforce the mountain folds on the edges of that center square. It may help to push up from underneath the model as well. And you just want to work your way around that center square until all 4 edges are mountain folds. Just like this. And now we're going to create a water bomb base with this center square. So if you push in on that center square, and then you push in on all 4 sides of the square at the same time, you'll start to see the model collapsing along existing creases. Just like this. And you'll end up creating a water bomb base in the center of the model. So if you look at the model from the side, then you can just flatten everything out. And if you lift up the model, you'll notice that there's 4 separate flaps of paper. And we want to focus on this top right flap here. So from here we want to lift up a single layer of paper from the back side of this top right flap. So we're just going to grab a single layer from the back side, and we want to pull it up as far as it goes. So we're just going to pull it up like this, and you'll see that the model won't lie flat. If you look at the model from the top, it should look like this. And the important thing here is that this point is facing towards you. You actually want that point to face away from you, so we have to reverse the direction of that corner. So we can do that by temporarily unfolding this top right flap here. So we're just going to lift up the model from the top and slightly separate those layers until we have enough room to actually reverse the direction of that corner. So you just want to push the corner down from the top, just like this, until it actually reverses direction. Once you've done that, then you just want to recollapse along existing creases. So other than that corner, the model should collapse exactly the same way it was before. And now you can see that that colored corner is facing away from you. Next, we want to flatten out this flap on the right here. We just want to push it over to the left like this, and you'll see that there's a white layer on top. And we just want to flatten out the layer like this, so that this white edge aligns with this colored horizontal edge on the bottom. So we're just going to flatten out that white flap like this, until you've created this shape that looks like half of a house. Then from here we want to mountain fold this white flap behind along this vertical white edge here. So we're just going to fold the white flap behind just like this. And we want to make a new crease by using that white vertical edge as a reference. Once you've done that, then you want to swing this colored layer of paper over to the left like this. And we want to reinforce this existing horizontal crease here. So we're just going to fold the top edge down to the bottom edge by reinforcing that existing crease. Just like this. And then you can make your crease all the way across. Once you've done that, then you can swing that small colored flap back over to the right, and you can flatten everything out. And your model should look like this. Once you have this, then we're going to turn the model over, and we're going to do the same exact thing. And the first thing we want to do is grab a single layer of paper from the back side of that top right layer, and we want to pull it up as far as it goes. So we're just going to pull it up like this. And if you look at the model from the top, you'll see it no longer lies flat. And the important thing is that this colored point faces towards you. We again want to reverse the direction of that point, so we're just going to lift up the model from the top, and we carefully want to separate the layers around that colored point just so we have enough room to actually reverse its direction. And we just want to push down on that point from the top, just like this, until that flap reverses direction. And then we can recollapse along existing creases. So the model should just collapse into the same shape that it was before. Then from here we want to flatten out this flap on the right, so we're simply going to push this white flap over to the left like this. We want to flatten it out so that this white edge aligns with this colored horizontal edge on the bottom. Then we're going to mountain fold this white flap behind along this white vertical edge here. So you can just tuck this white flap underneath, and you want to make a new crease by using that white vertical edge as a reference. Then we temporarily want to swing this colored flap over to the left. And from here we want to reinforce this existing horizontal crease. So we're going to fold the top edge down to the bottom edge, just like this, and then you can flatten out all of the layers. Then again, you can swing this small colored flap over to the right, and then your model should look like this. And now we want to focus on this top left flap here. So if we put the model down flat, we first want to fold this left corner up and over to the right as far as it goes. So we're just going to lift up that flap from underneath, and we're going to fold it up and over to the right like this. As you're doing this, you'll notice there's actually a layer inside that prevents this flap from going any further. So once the corner looks something like this, then you can make your crease. And now you want to take the top corner of this triangle and fold it down to the bottom corner. So we're just going to fold this little triangle in half, and then you can make your crease along the top edge. You can leave both of those creases in place. Then we want to turn the model over, and we want to do the same exact thing. So again, we want to fold this left corner up and over to the right as far as it goes, just like this. You'll notice the layer inside prevents it from going any further. So you can just make your crease like that. Then we want to fold the top corner of that triangle down to the bottom corner. So we're just going to fold that triangle in half. You can make your crease along that top edge. And once you've done that on both sides, then we're pretty much done with the unit. All we have to do is take this small flap on the top, and we want to fold it over to the left as far as it goes. Then we want to turn the paper over, and we want to do the same exact thing. So again, we want to take this small flap on the right and fold it over to the left. And once the layers are oriented like this, then this is one completed unit. Now you must fold 29 more. Once you've folded all 30 units, you're going to need 2 to start the assembly. Then look at one, and you'll notice that it has a triangular flap like this on each side, and it also has a hidden pocket inside of these rectangular flaps on each side as well. To get to the pocket, you first need to lift up this colored layer of paper on the top here, so you just want to lift it up like this until you can see the white layer inside. And you'll see this shape that looks like half a house, and you also want to lift up that top white layer of paper as well, so that you can see the colored layers inside. And you'll see that there's a triangular pocket hidden underneath this colored layer of paper here. I recommend opening up the pocket with the folding tool just to help the flap fit inside. And now that you've opened up the pocket on the first unit, we again want to take our second unit and we want to connect both units together. So from here we want to insert the triangular flap on the right side of the second unit inside of the pocket that we just opened up on the first unit. So we're going to do that by bringing both units together. So you carefully want to insert the second unit's triangular flap inside of the first unit's pocket. You want to push the flap inside of the pocket as far as it goes, and like I said, this will be significantly easier if you've already opened up the pocket with the folding tool. So you just want to push that flap inside until both units are completely aligned, and then you can fold the second unit back down along an existing crease. Then we want to push down on this white layer of paper here, and we just want to recollapse along existing creases. So you can just flatten everything out until you get that shape that looks like half of a house again. And then we want to mount and fold along this existing crease. So we're simply going to tuck this white corner behind, just like this, and then we can flatten out the model. And then we want to lift up this white triangular layer of paper from underneath. So we just want to open it up like this. And then we're going to fold this top edge back down to align with this bottom edge. So you're just going to fold it down from the top like this and collapse along existing creases. So you can just flatten out the model. Once you have that, then we want to turn the model upside down and look at it from underneath. And now you can see this triangular flap that we created on the first unit. And what we want to do is tuck that flap inside of this pocket here on the bottom. Again, it may help to open up that pocket with the folding tool, but basically you just want to fold this triangular flap inside of this pocket along an existing crease. So you just want to tuck that flap inside, just like this, while folding along an existing crease. You can see we've tucked that triangular flap inside. So now you can flatten everything out and turn the units back over. And now you've connected the first 2 units. Then from here we want to rotate both units 180 degrees so that the first unit's on the left and the second unit's on the right. Then from here we're going to attach a third unit the same way. So we want to insert the triangular flap on the right side of the third unit, inside of the hidden pocket on the front side of the second unit. So first we need to open up that pocket, and we're going to do that by first lifting up this colored layer of paper here. So we just want to lift it up like this so that we can see the white layers inside. Again, you can see that shape that looks like half of a house, and you want to lift up this top white layer as well so that you can see the colored layers inside. Again, I suggest opening up that pocket with the folding tool just to make it a little easier for the flap to fit inside. Then from here we want to insert the flap from the third unit inside of the second unit's pocket just like we did before. So you want to bring the second and third units together, again making sure that the triangular flap from the third unit slides inside of the second unit's pocket. And you want to slide that triangular flap inside as far as it goes, just like this. and this will be significantly easier if you open up that pocket ahead of time. Once both units are aligned, then you can fold the third unit back down along an existing crease. And then we want to push down on this white layer of paper here. So you just want to push it down and over to the left, and you can just recollapse along existing creases. Then again, we want to mount and fold this white triangle behind along an existing crease. So you just want to tuck that corner behind, just like this, and then you can flatten out the model. Then we want to lift up this top white layer from the left, and we want to fold this top edge back down to align with this bottom edge. So you just want to bring the edges together like this while collapsing along existing creases. And it's okay if it's not super precise because you're dealing with a bunch of layers. Then from here we want to look at the model from underneath, and you can see this triangular flap that we just created. And we want to tuck that white flap inside of this pocket here on the bottom. Again, it may help to slightly open up that pocket with the folding tool. Then you can carefully tuck that pocket inside. And this is really going to lock both units together. And once you've done that, then you can turn the model back over. And now we've connected 3 units. And now we need to connect the first unit to the third unit. So we're going to do that by lifting up all 3 units. And this time we're going to insert the first unit's flap inside of the third unit's pocket. So we first need to lift up this top colored layer here so that we can see the white layers inside. You'll see the shape that looks like half a house, and you want to lift up that white layer as well. And I suggest opening up that pocket with the folding tool to make it easier for that flap to fit inside. So once you've opened up that pocket, then we again want to take the flap from the first unit, and we want to insert it inside of the pocket just like we've been doing. So you carefully want to insert the triangular flap inside of that pocket just like we did before. You want to push the flap inside just like this until both units are completely aligned. Then you can fold the first unit down along an existing crease. And from here you just want to push down this white layer on top, and you can flatten it out along existing creases. Then we want to mount and fold this small triangular flap behind along this existing diagonal crease. So we're going to tuck that small flap behind just like this, and then you can flatten out the model. Then we want to lift up this white layer from the left, and we want to fold this top edge back down to align with the bottom edge. So we're just going to fold that top layer back down along existing creases, and then you can flatten everything out. Then we want to flip the model over and look at it from underneath, and you can see the small triangular flap that we just created. And we want to tuck that flap inside of this pocket on the bottom. It may help to open up that pocket with the folding tool. Then you carefully want to tuck those layers inside. Just like this, you can see that small triangular flap inside, and that's going to lock the first and third units together. And once you have that, then you can turn the model back over, and now you've connected the first 3 units. And from here we actually want to curve the units so that this triangular shape becomes a circle. So you just want to work your way around the edges of the triangle, curving the paper to create a circular shape like this. And if your paper won't hold its shape at this step, then it's probably too thin and you might want to try something else. So from here I'm going to switch over to a slightly smaller model using thicker paper in all blue to help you see what I mean. It's much easier to get this paper to hold its shape, and you can actually create this circular ring in the center. So just work your way around until you've created a circle in the middle. So as you can see, this paper holds its shape much better. And now that we've created a circle using the first 3 units, we want to repeat the same process by creating 3 new circles using these 6 remaining flaps here. And now you can see that I've created 2 circles by branching off of this original circle here. So we just want to continue to use these remaining flaps to create circles as well. And now you can see that we've connected 4 circles by creating 3 new circles that branch off of this original circle here. So from here you just want to repeat this process by creating circles using these remaining flaps here. And as you continue adding units, you want to make sure that 5 circles always come together to create a 5-pointed star in the middle like this. So from here you want to continue adding units the same way by creating 3 unit circles and arranging them to create 5 pointed stars. That's how the model is going to take its shape. So just repeat this process until you've assembled all 30 units. And once you've assembled all 30 units, then your Origami Nexus Kusudama is complete. I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial on how to fold Nexus, designed by Joseph Hwang. Feel free to upload photos of your completed Kusudama to the YouTube gallery on my website to be featured here in my next video, or simply upload your photos to Instagram with the hashtag EzOrigami to be featured here as well. Also, be sure to check out Joseph's website and Instagram for more of his impressive work. He also recently started a Discord server called Origami, which focuses on modulars and tessellations, in case you'd like to check that out. I'll post all the links in the video description below. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. And of course, subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications bell for more videos like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.